Hi my loves, so today we are doing a first impressions video. A lot of you guys have been loving these videos recently, so I am bringing you guys another one, and today's first impressions is going to be on the brand new Nars foundation, their all-day Luminous Weightless foundation, which I just picked up at Sephora. This was a very pricey foundation, at least for me. This was $48. I do not normally spend $48 on foundations, but a lot of you guys requested for me to give you my thoughts on this foundation, so I figured I would get it for you guys and do a first impressions, and then after I get kind of more time to be able to try it out and everything, I can do a full review for you guys if that's something that you're interested in. Before I go ahead and apply this foundation, kind of give you guys my thoughts on it, I will give you a little bit of background on this foundation and kind of what it claims to do. This is Nars's first full coverage foundation. Typically Nars makes sheer kind of luminous or buildable foundations. I know they have like Nars Sheer Glow, and another one that a lot of people like as well. I'm blanking on the name right now, but their foundations have never really been full coverage, long-lasting foundations. That's kind of not what they've ever done. So this is the first one that they've ever come out with. So I was really excited by that because I really only like long-lasting full coverage foundations. I really don't ever buy foundations that aren't that. I just feel like either I wear no foundation or I'm wearing full coverage. There is like no in between for me. Nars is a great brand and I love a lot of their other products, so I was really excited that I got to try a foundation from them because up to now I've never been able to try one just because they didn't have a full coverage one. So this says that it's all-day luminous weightless foundation, it's 16-hour wear, and that it's oil-free, so it's basically just supposed to be a long-lasting, full coverage foundation, but not necessarily matte, which is something that's very different. This is kind of a foundation that feels like that niche because I've never really found a long-lasting, full coverage foundation that's not matte. They're typically, those three kind of go together. I've never found like a luminous, long-lasting, full coverage foundation, so I have very high hopes for this because I have dry skin, so I don't really need a mattifying foundation. That's just kind of what I'm used to because that's typically the only thing that I can find that's full coverage and long-lasting. So very excited to see if this can be one of my new holy grails because I think it definitely has potential to be. Like I said, it is really pricey, so I'm definitely going to keep that in mind when giving you guys my review, and if I really think that it's worth the $48 that it kind of carries on its price tag. So I got it in the color medium 3 Stromboli. I guess I should show you guys what the actual bottle looks like. That would probably be helpful. So this is what the actual bottle looks like. Really nice, sleek packaging. I didn't expect anything less from Nars. This is supposed to be for medium skin tones with an olive undertone. The lady at Sephora matched this to me, so hopefully it works. We'll see. Because I don't really know if I have an olive undertone, but like when she put this, she was like matching it to my neck and it matched, so I guess we'll see, or at least in the store it did. So I'm shaking it up. It sounds really liquidy, like you can really hear this stuff like floating around in here, so that's kind of weird because normally like full coverage foundations are thick, but we will see. Oh, and it does have a pump, which you guys know I am a sucker for. I love foundations with pump. I really just like cannot use a foundation that doesn't have a pump, so I'm very happy about that. So let's go ahead and take some of this. I really don't know how much I'm gonna need because I really don't know anything about this foundation, so I'm just gonna pump like one pump onto my finger and see. Oh wow, okay, I can already tell this is like super liquidy, so oh my god, this is weird. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of dot this around my skin. I'm definitely gonna need more than one pump because that's really all one pump did, but it's really liquidy, so I don't feel like it's gonna give that much coverage. All right, then now that I have about 2.5 pumps on my face, again, it's like super liquidy, so I'm gonna go in and use the Beauty Blender to kind of blend it out on my skin. Oh, it blends out really nicely. Very easy to blend and definitely gives kind of that flawless finish, so I do like that. It definitely does have a little sheen to it as well. I can definitely tell while putting this on. It definitely has like, I don't know, like it's not matte, like which is what I'm used to, so I'm kind of like thrown off by that, but I like it. It's like, it's pretty, like it doesn't look like I'm like greasy or anything like that. Like it just kind of makes the skin glow a little bit, which is really nice, and I think that's like kind of Nars's thing because a lot of their products kind of have that like glow factor to them, so there's definitely like a little kind of sheen to it, but it's nothing like overpowering. Okay, so I just got finished blending it all out, and honestly I am shocked with this foundation. When I first pumped it onto my finger, I was like, oh my god, this is not going to be full coverage at all. This is so liquidy. It's even a little bit more thinner and liquidy, I think, than the L'Oreal True Match, but it is like flawless on my skin. Like it is really full coverage, and I don't know how they did that, like, because I normally, like, full coverage of foundations are very, like, thick in consistency. Like, if you guys are familiar with the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation, or even the Tarte 12-Hour Amazonian Clay, like, full coverage foundation, like, that's a very thick consistency, where this was not like that whatsoever at all, but it gives the same kind of flawless finish as those do. So far I'm really, really impressed with the foundation. I was really nervous at first, but I think it looks really, really well. It was super easy to blend out with the Beauty Blender. It took me like, I don't know, probably like a minute and a half to just blend it all out over my face. So very easy to blend it, I think probably because of that liquidy consistency that it does have. But I really, really like it so far. Like I said, there is a sheen to it, so I don't know how people with like oily skin would feel about that. But for me, with dry, kind of normal skin, totally fine by me. I think it looks really pretty. So far I do really, really like it. Obviously, that could totally change by tonight because it's like 9:45 in the morning right now. So I'll check back in with you guys probably around like 2 or so, hopefully. And then again later tonight before I go to bed and kind of let you guys know my final thoughts on it. But as of right now, I do actually really like it. I think it's an awesome foundation. So I will see you guys a little bit later and let you guys know how I am liking it and how it's lasting throughout the day. Bye guys. Hi my dears. Okay, so I just got back from class. It is a little bit after 2. It is 2:08 right now. And so far I am really liking the foundation. It stayed on my face really, really well, so it's lasting really good. Again, I haven't had it on for that long. I put it on like right before 10 o'clock or so it's only been on for a couple hours, but it's lasting really, really well on my face. It really is not budging at all. I don't really see it wearing off. Even around my nose, that's really where I tend to have the biggest problem with my foundation kind of wearing off quickly, and my nose is still completely on. Normally, like, foundations will separate on my nose, and I haven't had that issue with this foundation at all. It definitely does have a sheen to it, like I said, which I'm just not used to. Sorry if I'm like looking over here, I'm like looking in the mirror. It definitely does have a sheen to it, like I said when I first applied it, but that's not a problem for me at all. I like it. I think it gives like really kind of pretty glow to the skin, which is different than a lot of the other foundations that I have that are just like straight matte on the skin. But so far I'm really, really liking it. It hasn't really oxidized at all. The color is pretty much exactly the same. The color changed just like slightly obviously when I put on different powders and stuff, but as far as that goes, like the foundation itself is the same color, so I haven't had an issue with it oxidizing or anything like that. So far I am giving this foundation a thumbs up. Obviously this can change because it's going to be a long period of time in between the next time when I check in with you guys. I'll try and check in with you guys like probably around 9 or so tonight for like the final check-in and let you guys know my thoughts. So it could have like completely worn off my face at that point. So I will see you guys later tonight and let you guys know my final thoughts on it. Hi my dears, so I am super tired. It is time for me to go to bed. It is currently 10:33 at night, and I have been wearing this foundation pretty much all day now because I applied it right before 10 a.m. this morning, so I've basically been wearing it for 12 hours, which is what it says it claims to be is 12-hour wear. And I actually have to say that I really do think that this stayed true to that. The foundation is still really on my skin. Like, obviously it doesn't look exactly as it did when I just applied it this morning, but it really didn't fade like quite as much as other foundations that I have tried at all. It really did stick and stay onto my skin. So it's definitely long lasting, which is something that I absolutely look for. The full coverageness of it definitely stayed. I can see a little bit like on my forehead. I kind of lost some coverage up in there, but for the majority of like this part of my face, I'm pretty good. One place I told you guys that I normally have a big issue is on my nose. The foundation tends to always break up on my nose. It's just kind of something that happens. This one did a little bit, but not nearly as much as other foundations have. Like, typically at the end of the day, I have like no foundation on my nose, and it's still definitely covered with foundation. It's just a little bit of separating, but nothing bad at all, which is really, really great. I was like wearing glasses for most of the day, so you can kind of see like glass marks on either side of my nose, like where my glasses were sitting. But I mean, obviously that's to be expected. I literally had something sitting there all day long. So like, to me, that's not a big issue or anything at all. So I actually am really impressed with the lasting power of this foundation. I think it lasted really, really well, and the coverage is really great. One thing that I will say is that it definitely has a sheen to it, and I think it comes out more throughout the day. Like, I feel like my face looks very, like my face looks very luminous. Like, I don't want to use the word shiny because I feel like that like has such a negative connotation to everyone that has like oily skin and everything like that, because it doesn't look bad, but to me, I'm just not used to that because I have super dry skin and I tend to wear matte foundation, so my face is always just like straight wash, like straight matte, like no luminosity or anything to it at all. So with that being said, I do not see this foundation being a great foundation for people with oily skin, just because, you know, my skin looks a little, you know, luminous, almost to the point where it's like a little too luminous for my liking when I have like bone dry skin. So I just don't know if this would work out for girls that have super oily skin, unless you don't mind having that sheen to your skin. I really would not go out and suggest this to someone with oily skin, but if you have dry skin and you like a luminous finish and you're looking for a full coverage yet a luminous finish, long-lasting foundation, this is the best one by far that I have ever tried or ever found, because I really never found a foundation that isn't matte that is really great coverage and long-lasting. So this was the first one that I found. Again, it has a pretty price tag. It's almost $50, which is really, really expensive, but if you are looking to splurge on a foundation or a new product, or you just really want kind of a luminous full coverage foundation, I would definitely suggest this. I definitely think that it is a great product and kind of fills that niche, like I said, for a luminous full coverage long-lasting foundation. So A+, thumbs up to Nars. That's really, really awesome. I think they did amazing on their first full coverage foundation, because like I said, this is really the first one that they've come out with, and Nars tends to really only come out with good products. I've never really disliked any of the products that I've tried from them. So I did really enjoy this foundation. I would recommend it to you guys. Obviously, I will do a full review once I get to wear this foundation for much, much longer, because this is only my first impressions on my first day. So, you know, how I like the foundation can definitely change. So in a month or so, when I kind of have enough time to really try it out, I can do another full review for you guys. If you do want to see that, then just be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss it. Thanks guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.